Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari A to Z Flashback, a series of explorations of the 150 games that make up Atari Flashback Classics for Nintendo Switch. Today's game is RealSports Football for the Atari 5200. This was a 1983 release from Atari, following the 1982 release of RealSports Football for the Atari 2600, which we saw last time. This port was released on both Atari 5200 and Atari 8-bit computers, and was developed by Jim Hoyther. Like its 2600 counterpart, it offers a somewhat simplified take on American football, but thanks to the increased complexity of the Atari 5200 controller, it allows for a wider selection of available plays, making for a more varied game, assuming you know what you're doing, which I don't, I will hasten to add. Now interestingly, while the Atari 2600 version had a full competitive one-player mode for solo players to enjoy by themselves, this Atari 5200 version only has a practice mode where you're only able to play offense and practice your moves against various defensive formations, so not sure how much we're going to get out of this today, but we'll give it a go anyway. Let's go play RealSports Football for Atari 5200.
Okay, here we are once again with Atari Flashback Classics, and today it's time for RealSports Football once again on Atari 5200, a game that I'm hoping is better and more enjoyable than the 2600 version, which I really did not like. I did not like that game at all. But, like I say, the whole point of this series is for me to at least give a chance to every game on this compilation. So that includes all of the ones that I suspected that I wouldn't enjoy, and some of them have presented some quite fun and interesting surprises along the way. I've enjoyed a lot of the sports games a lot more than I ever expected to, but then there have been a few, like RealSports Football, that confirmed my suspicions. But anyway, the 5200 version. Let's have a look at the manual. It's a pretty cool piece of artwork on the front there. Game designed and implemented by Jim Hoyther. So this is the era when Atari started actually crediting people in their manuals. Your ball and goal to go. As always, it's freezing cold and wet in Buffalo. Terrible conditions for playing football. The field's a snowy mess. The temperature's so low that the receivers have to wear gloves and everybody else in the stadium is wearing a ski mask. But all that matters very little to you. Right now you're sitting warm and cozy in your own home. And as the quarterback of the Atari offensive team, you're facing a fourth down situation inside your opponent's 20-yard line during the closing seconds of your own football game. The big decision confronting you. What play are you going to fall up? The defense has been rough all day. You wish that you would have spent more time practicing those pass patterns and learning the exact moments when you have the best chance of completing a pass. But it's too late now. He's a game conditions rookie and that other guy is out for blood. Yours. A field goal could tie things up, but that's pretty chancy at any distance. Besides, like Vince Lombardi, you believe there is no tomorrow, so you're going for the touchdown to win. Time's running out though. Think fast. What will work? Oh god, it goes on. And on. Anyway, let's skip that and have a look at the actual instructions. The basic rules of football apply with some modifications that you should find intriguing. Like regular football, the object of Atari football in two-player contests is to score more points than your opponent. You do this by getting touchdowns, field goals and safeties. In one-player games, you'll want to become proficient in the main features of the game, especially in the art of passing the ball successfully. One thing that we've really struggled with in the 2600 version. Each team has 6 players, one of which is always controlled by the joystick. Under certain circumstances, you can transfer joystick control to another player. A lot of game strategy involves knowing when and how to execute that transfer. You can run the ball, but you'll never fumble. You can pass it, but you risk having it intercepted. You can kick field goals and punts as good as the pros, but you can't kick the ball out of bounds like they occasionally do. There are no 2-minute warnings and no legal timeouts. There are no penalties either, unless of course you elbow your competitor and he or she socks you back. If you want halftime entertainment and refreshments, you'll simply have to provide your own. Okay. So, you can choose to play a regulation game of 15 minutes per quarter, or you can play a short game of 6-minute quarters. So, time runs faster than real time in this one, unlike in the 2600 version where you had 15 minutes of real time for a game. So, this one you can play a shorter game if you want to. So, how do we actually play? Your joystick controls the movement of the odd-coloured player on your team. This control player will be green or yellow for the home team and dark blue, purplish or black for the visitors team. The red fire buttons, especially the lower ones, have several functions. Use them to pass, to kick, to hike the ball early, to free up the defensive control player before the snap, and to transfer control from one player to another. Fire buttons on either side have identical functions and are designed as a convenience for right and left-handed players. That's nice, isn't it? So, I believe what you're doing this because the Atari 5200 controller has a keypad on it. You select your plays in this by actually pressing the number buttons. So in the case of offense, there are 3 formations, so you press 1 to 3, and then there's 6 plays for each formation. Again, I don't really know what these are for or how you respond to each other, but actually, interestingly, the whole point of the one-player game in this 5200 version is to allow you to practice by being able to select plays for both sides of the game. So you control the players on the offensive team, but you can select the play for the defensive team as well. So you can practice seeing how those different plays interact with each other and seeing which ones work most effectively against them as well. So that's actually strikes me as a reasonable way to figure things out a bit more than certain other games I might mention. But I don't really know how this works in practice yet, so yeah, this is all. Okay, well let's just try because a lot of that stuff in that manual just means nothing to me because I don't really have a fundamental understanding of the sport in the first place. But we'll give it a go. Here we are. Football, copyright 1982 Atari. Right, select options or start game. We want a one-player practice game. Let's go for a short game as well. Excuse me. Right, and start. So, offense, pick formation. So, well, I think a good way of sort of figuring things out in this is just to go sequentially through all these plays and see how they function with the various defensive plays. So let's start with offensive formation 1, play number 1, or 1-1, and then defense. Defense only has 6 plays, so they don't have different formations. They just have 6 plays. So let's see how offense 1-1 works against defense 1. When everyone's in position, you actually have the opportunity to change your play if you suspect your opponent is up to some sort of shenanigans. Now, a couple of things I'm noticing. First is the fact that this runs a lot slower than RealSports Football on the 2600, and I don't mean that as a criticism. I think that makes the whole thing a lot more accessible. Secondly, there's a lot more space on the screen, so I was able to get around that whole defensive formation fairly easily. And thirdly, look at him go! Look at him run! Look at him go! Oh, he's been gained on, though. He's gaining, but I don't think he's going to be soon enough, though. There we are. A touchdown. So defensive formation number 1 does not counter offensive formation 1-1 very well. Right. So now we go for the offensive formation on the other team. So the purple and blue team. So let's go for 1-1. Oh no, that's defensive formation. Okay, so you always pick the one on the left side first. Okay, so defensive formation 1 did not work very well against offensive 1-1. So let's see how well it works against 1-2. Change play. So this time, I'm in control of the blue guy. Now, he had a much more difficult job there. Right, defense number 1 again. Offense, you try 1-3. And off we go. So everyone's getting blocked by the other team there. So I guess this is just a case of getting as far as you can. So made some progress, but not enough to get into the next down. Okay, defensive formation 1 and offensive formation 1-4. Right, that looks like a play. That didn't work. Let's try that again, actually. Does that look like one where I probably should have passed? So let's try that one again. If you look at the purple guy down at the bottom left, he looks like he's running ready for a pass, but pressing the button doesn't seem to do anything. Let me just check something. So A and B do stuff. They both do stuff. What is the button you actually press for passing? Just tell me what the buttons are. In pass plays, the lower fire button on either side will release the ball to the receiver. The upper fire button will pass the ball to the receiver designated as well. Okay. So you can use either button to pass. Okay, well, let's try again. So, defensive play 1. Offensive play, go for 1-4 again, just to give it a go. And then you get up there and throw it. Well, he received it, which is certainly much more progress than we ever made in RealSports Football for the 2600. So let's go for 1, and let's go for 1-5 as well. Now I think the manual said that this was a running play, so this is not one where you pass. This is one where you just leg it, I think. So let's see what happens. I think if I'd started moving earlier there, that might have worked. So let's try that again. So defensive 1 and then 1-5. Jack the ball. Run. Everyone else get blocked by my people. Break away from the pack. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So running plays work quite nicely against defensive play number 1. See, already in this game, because of the way that this single player mode is structured, I feel like I'm learning more about American football than I've learned in any other video game about it. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. I think there's more of them coming, so be warned. Alright, let's try 1-6. This is also a running play, I believe, so throw the ball. Okay, that one less effective. Where are you going? Where are you going? Why are you all the way? Oh, it's the second quarter. That's why. So they've changed ends. Okay. That's what the bang noise was, I think. Right. So defense 1. Let's try 1-6 again, just one more time. We've got enough plays to be able to experiment with this one a little bit. So you get around them. Breakaway down the middle. And touchdown! See, I'm already having much more fun with this than I ever did in the 2600 version. It's still not something I necessarily see myself returning to that often, particularly for this single player mode, because this single player mode is very is very, very artificial because of the very nature of the way it goes. But okay, offense 2-1 and defense number 1. Let's see how this works. Alright, this looks like one where I should be passing. No, that's kicking. That's a long old kick. Don't really understand what happened there. Okay. 2-2 then. Oh no, I think I've just chosen defensive formation 2. A scoreboard layout is confusing now that they're on the opposite sides because it hasn't swapped the scoreboard round, but it has swapped the players around. So defensive formation 2. Let's see how that plays against 1-1. Pretty well, I would say. Oh, he's gaining. He's gaining. Well, that was good progress. Not enough to get all the way up the field, but it was good progress. Anyway, where was I? Defense 2. Offense 1-2. Now again, this is specifically a running play, I think, so we should just be able to leg it. Oh no. Oh no. That's no good, is it? Alright, defense 2. Let's try that again, just see if there's an alternative way to do that. Let's try running down the field this... No, or I could just run straight into one of the other players. Okay. In that case, 2 and 1-3. Right, wait for that big clusterfuck in the middle. And then run like the wind. Okay, so 2 and 2. What were we on? 2-3, I think. Both potential receivers are covered there, so... Oh, come on, come on. Oh, so close. So close. Defense 2. And offense 2-5. Oh, it's tense. It's tense. It's very tense. Defense 2, offense 2-6. Just can't quite get in there, can you? God. Alright. 2. And have some 3-1 if you dare. Okay, so that's a kicking play then. Right, offense 3-2, defense 2. Jacket. So that's whatever you call it when it swaps sides. 2 and 3-3. Okay. 2 and 3, 4. There's the end of the second quarter. It seems to have set things up quite nicely today. Go on. Go on, you can make it. There we go. My money's on the visitors. Alright. So, let's go for play number 3 now. And offense start on 1-1 again. Not seeing a lot of plays where passing seems to be terribly practical here, because they always seem to be blocked off pretty quickly. So 3 and 1, 2. This is a running play anyway. Yeah, again, the one guy that I could have passed to there, he was just being blocked by another person, so it just doesn't seem super practical to do any passing, but we'll see. Anyway, I think the key thing with this game is that this is much more interesting and enjoyable than RealSports Football for the 2600, because that just felt like a chaotic mess where you couldn't really... I just felt like I wasn't really achieving anything in that game, because every play I attempted, regardless of what it was, seemed to end up exactly the same. Whereas in this one, there seems to be much more chance of a bit of variation in what happens. Like, sometimes you'll get the opportunity for a huge long run like this. Sometimes you'll get caught out pretty quickly. Sometimes you'll have to pass it. I have yet to see an opportunity to pass it so far, but anyway, the visitors are absolutely cleaning up this time. It's time for the home team to redeem themselves. You go for 1, 2. In defense, you go for number 5. Let's see what that does. Ooh. Ooh. Number 5 appears to be a good defense against 1, 2. Let's try 1, 5 then. Ooh, it was tight. Might have been able to get through there, but I don't know. Let's try 1, 6 and defense 5. Oh, he's through. And he's breaking away. He's got a very long run ahead of him, though. A very long run. Still, this should take us to the end of quarter 3 nicely. Oh, he's not going to make it all the way, is he? No. That was a good effort, though. That was a damn good effort. Let's see if we can do that again. So that was 1, 6, and defense 5, I think. And he just snuck up round there. Oh, no. See? Variation. Variation. It's good. I'm still going to try the same thing again, though. Right, through the ball. Oh, no. It's all gone horribly wrong. There goes the end of the quarter. Oh, but he's made it through. He's made it through. Is he going to make it? Yes, he is. Good work, home team. Right, last quarter. So they run all the way to the other end of the field. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Alright, visitors on offense again, so let's go for defensive 6 and see what happens. Alright, watch this. Run, run, run away. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the small blue man. Oh, oh, yellow guy's broken through. Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? I don't think he's going to make it. Oh, he might do, actually. He might do. He might do. Come on. He's got it. Spectacular. See, now, this kind of goes with the point that I was talking about last week with RealSports Football on the 2600, in that is a fun video game moment. That's a fun video game moment, but probably not a realistic sports moment. And that, for me, is what makes this a lot more enjoyable than the 2600 version. Get away. Made a small amount of progress. Better than nothing. 1, 3, and 6. Not sure about passing in this one. So never quite sure which button to press is the problem. Oh, that was dumb. That was my own fault. Not good enough, sir. Not good enough. Alright, let's try 1-5 versus 6. That poor guy just has to run all the way back over there. That's clearly Play 6's main distinguishing feature. is the guy who has to run a long way. Well, we made enough progress. So let's go 2, 1, and 6. Ooh, see a guy at the back there, quite dangerous, because he was hiding. Still going for a good run now. I think it's good. Yes, it's good. A tense game between home team and visitors here. Alright, come on, visitors. Can you maintain that lead in the last 45 seconds? I suspect you can. Oh, the yellow guy's coming for you. He's coming for you. And you've got a very long way to go. And no one to pass it to, or kick. Get away. Well, I had a much better time with that than the 2600 version. As I say, I suspect it's still not something that I'll come back to all that often, but yeah, I feel like I got a lot more out of that than the 2600 version. It was easier to understand. The nature of that single player practice mode is actually quite good for figuring things out, and if you spend a bit more time with it, I suspect you'd be able to come up with a good counter for each of the various strategies, and that's a good way of doing it, I think, rather than just throwing you in and expecting you to understand everything about the game straight away. So yeah, I was expecting to sort of see that single player mode as a bit of throwaway nonsense that they hadn't really made an effort with, but no, it actually seems to work quite well. I'm reasonably impressed with that. So, anyway, there we go. That is RealSports Football for the Atari 5200. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.